Why do you think I love all this texture? Look at it. It's beautiful. Look what I'm looking at right here. Like, look at all of this. So when I first started hooking rugs, it was like, oh, you just use cloth. That was it, right? And you cut it into strips. And I think if I had to stay doing that, I don't think I ever would have really loved it the way I love it now. So like, let's just pan these rugs right here, Angela. So when you look at my first rug, which we showed you in the last video, and Angela will show you again in a minute, and then you look at all of these, I love these because of the texture in them, and because of all the different yarns and all the different cloths, and how much fun it is, and how every material does something different. And if you look on our website, you can see all the different wools that we have. We have so many different yarns and so many different cloths and so many. Logan, you look. There's Logan, and she dyed all of these. Come, show them. Yeah, look how beautiful it is. And so we dye wool. We even dye velvet, and sometimes we buy plaids and tweeds and have fun with those too because they're great. And we can do different things with them. Like I just want you to explore different materials because look. This is what makes me happy. Like, look at that. It's just so gorgeous, right? You can't, like, look at it. I mean, it's just waiting to be made into something. So I want to show you here all the different kinds of yarns. Like, you can have merino yarns, and this is a merino stream with has a beautiful sheen on it. And this is a yarn that Logan dyes for us here in the studio, and it's a big chunky merino. We use a lot of sari silks. This is from the fleece artist that we carry it, and it's a nice tweedy yarn, curly locks. All of these wools will do different things in your mat. So when I make my rugs, a lot of times I'm making kit designs, but a lot of times I'm making one of a kind. And I'm, working as an artist, I guess. Sorry for that racket. But, I mean, you're getting the real thing here. It's not like all staged and perfect. This is what my mats are like. Okay, I just want to show you what some of these textures can do. So in an earlier video, I started with I'm going to pull those out. One of the questions that people often ask is, how does it stay in? Well, burlap or linen opens and closes. So with your hook, you open it, and then you pull the wool up, and then it just kind of goes back to itself, and it kind of closes in. So there's no knotting, there's no tying, it's just one simple stitch. So let's take this circle here, and let's put in some sari silk, and I'll show you what that's like. And I'm still using my little inexpensive hook. Oh, this is sweet. And that's what I'm like when I'm hooking alone by myself. I just kind of get that feeling of, the yarn just makes me go, oh, isn't that beautiful? That's what I just feel. I feel the yarn and feel what it can do, and I think, what's the best place in the rug for that? This is a material we call it Sexy Jersey, and it's from a factory that makes woolen underwear, and give it a stretch, and we'll see what that looks like around here. And so that does something different altogether. Different texture altogether. That's the jersey. I use a lot of different fabrics. In fact, I just stick to wool or silk or linen for the most part. Once in a while I'll use some blends, but I use those fabrics because you're spending a lot of time on this beautiful craft, and I think if you put quality into it, you get quality out. This is a yarn called Curly Locks that we've used for years, and I'm going to hook that over here so you can see what it's like. Look at that. And when you hook it up, you get a whole different texture and look. And it's so fluffy and soft. Where are my scissors? Here we go. Now, remember I showed you Big Merino a few minutes ago? Well, here's Big Merino hooked up. This is what it looks like hooked up. Look at that. It's big and soft. Does a totally different thing. Whoops, get out of there, you. And then there's just like cloth. We have a cloth called European Cream that we have imported especially for our studio from Europe. And that does something different again. Gives you another texture. After this, I'm going to show you Briggs & Little yarn, because Briggs & Little is milled right in New Brunswick, which is not far from us. And we love their yarn, and they do custom colors for us. We have our own palette with Briggs & Little, and they do our own custom colors, which we love. So this was a poppy red that I think we had them do. And I'm going to show you what the red looks like. A lot of times, I said before, a lot of times when I use Briggs and Little yarn, I'll use 2 together. Look at that. And it gives you another texture altogether. So every one, there we go, you clip off all your ends. You want to bring all your ends to the surface. You don't leave any ends hanging underneath. Now I'm just thinking, just to show you something kind of cute and fun, that if I took the green and just made a stem here, I think we'd have like kind of primitive flowers. Yeah, I mean, it's not much I can make in a few minutes, but I can make that. So all of these yarns here, they all do something different. And one thing that I love about rug hooking is that it is full of freedom, and you can use all kinds of different yarns to create different effects in your rugs. So if you look at some of these rugs, let's see, what's a rug that I really like right now? Let's go up and look at this little dancing woman. Right here. So this is a kit that we have in the studio, and I've used Big Merino, I've used Briggs & Little in a 4-ply, and I've used Briggs & Little in a 2-ply. I've used a sparkling stellina right here with a little sparkle. I've used cloth. I've used a sort of a raggedy cloth over here. And you can see all the, oh, there's some sari silk over here. If you look over here, this is a much more subtle design. I really love this design. It's called Abstract Sails, and you can see the sari silk, all the sari silk in this area and what it looks like. And then here's a merino yarn. And there's a Briggs & Little. This tan, this brown is one from our own palette. This brown over here is one we hand dyed. And this is the jersey that I talked about earlier. So it gives you a really good idea that rug hooking is full of possibilities. It's all about what you can do with color and design. And in our kits, you have everything you need. Or you can just buy a pattern like this, all packaged with a color image, and decide what colors you're going to use yourself. It's a craft that is full of possibilities to become an art. That's it. I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.